Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Factorio C Block. This is episode number 8. Today, we're going to start the episode by doing some research. We're going to research nodule processing, where we're going to make nodules from the washing plants we started messing around with last time. And that most important thing is it's going to give us a better, cheaper, more efficient way to get slag slurry. We're also going to get, eventually, once I start messing with it, chrome ore, manganese ore, and nodule sludge. But most important, a better way to make slag slurry. Currently, we're making that from electrolyzing the seawater to get slag, and then liquefying that with sulfuric acid here. And all of our metals and stuff are dependent on that, and this is going to give us a cheaper way. Been trying to upgrade machines and basically lower our power drain on our system, so we're going to do more with what we have. This is a continuation of that effort. After this, after we set this up, what I'll be doing is we'll be going after the things we need to continue upgrading our machines, which is going to be brass, aluminum, and plastic for the electronic circuit boards, or whatever they're called, the current incarnation that we need next. Okay, that was pretty quick. That's all finished. Okay, let's scroll down to metallurgy and just make sure we can make the brass and bronze. Metallurgy 1. We want to make sure we can make brass and aluminum. Did I say bronze? We don't need bronze. There's advanced brass smelting. Okay, we need that. So let's go through zinc to get to it. Boink. And I'll start breaking this down. So we're going to be getting rid of most of these machines that are each pulling 350 kilowatts. Only about 8 of them do we need for the green algae. Currently, this is kind of like the crossover point for our two main processes, our power process and our kind of like production process for making metals and stuff. And we're kind of going to be separating them more, which I guess will be nice. It'll be easier to keep them straight. What do I need for what? But to replace all of this and to make enough nodules for what we need to do, we're going to need 28 washing plants. Yes, that may seem like a lot. But the washing plants only pull 100 kilowatts each, and these are 350 kilowatts. So it will still be a significant reduction in power drain for us. And as soon as that's done, we are going to start scaling up the output. Okie doke, everything's hooked up, everything's laid out. Let's put plug it into our main system, make sure everything works properly. The most fun part of a build, watching everything turn on. Oh, okay, this is not turned on properly, so we'll give you... Can it be parallel with that? I guess I could. Yeah, okay, let's go the extra mile and have a very nice looking, wire configuration there on the map. Doesn't really make a big difference, but I like it when things are pretty. We really don't need that much water, like the actual seawater. I put a few pumps around. We don't need that many. The pipes are kind of going a long distance, so I just added a few more pumps just because everything seems to be going fine. We are making nodules. This should be running, this isn't necessarily running full speed. This should be running full speed, though. There we go. Okay, let's go change over our recipes. We've got the nodules getting made. There are a few other things you can do with the nodules. The turning nodules into slag is not very efficient. I don't know why you would do that when you can make slag the better way. We need to change these to... we want viscous mud water... No. This is a liquefier. We want this. Slag slurry from nodules, not modules. There we go. And then I'll take the excess, I was going to say slag, but the slag. Dump it in there. Oh, I did not put a balancer on this. That might help. And I'll run around and just make sure that everything is working properly. So let's just do something like this. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. So the nodule stuff is up and running and everything's hooked up correctly. I double-checked all of the different pipes and inserters and all that kind of stuff. And before we start updating our mineral kind of chain line stuff up here with our outputs and our science and all that kind of stuff, I made a radar, and I actually made a radar Mark II, and it turns out it's got a gigantic radius. You can see on the map here, top right, how big of a radius that covers. It's going to give us an active display of, I think, the darker blue, and then it's going to light up anything in the light blue, and it kind of takes a lot of power. It takes 450 kilowatts, so maybe we'll just have one. I don't know why I care this much. It was just sort of something fun that we could do. Looks like all of the aliens are just the worms. No biters. I guess that maybe the biters would just be a bit laggy. I just researched plastics. We'll need that for the circuits we'll need for our upgrades. I guess we'll go ahead and do this one. Plastic pipe to ground, plastic pipe. We will need that for advanced electronics. And that's needed for, well, I guess all kinds of stuff. Holy crap. Look at all this. Nuclear power. If I want to move towards that, we need that. We need it for stack inserters. I definitely want to use stack inserters at some point. Steam electric engines. These electric engines. Automation 3. More solar panels, accumulators, power poles, all kinds of crap. Okay, fine. Fine, let's do that. All right, so next on our list of endless things to do to expand our production chain, we need to research the hydro-refining. This is going to add an extra step to our production of metals. We're going to get the crushed stuff into, I think those are called chunks, or, yeah, I think it's crushed into chunks, and then we will be able to sort those. Okay, so let's start that research, and we're going to get a building called a flotation something. Flotation cell. I don't know if that means that we actually need it out in the water. If it does, we're gonna have to move all of this to a new area to account for that. If it maybe you just float stuff inside the building. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out in a second. One thing we will be doing is we're gonna put brass. I almost said brass and aluminium on a belt, kind of like we've done with copper, iron, lead, and tin. So we'll need to expand that just a bit. So we're gonna run down here. I officially have a big enough big enough backlog of landfill that we can do that for a while. I'm carrying around like 3,000 of it, and I've got another 1,500 there. Yeah, we're making enough, so I don't have to worry about that for a while. Don't have to do the little place one down, move 2 blocks, place one down. You ran out of fuel. Give you some fuel. I ran out of carbon to fill things back up. Let's go grab that. All right, so the science just finished, and I've made a few of the machines. Here they are. Flotation cell further refines crushed ores using froth flotation. Kind of sounds like that happens inside the machine, not out on the water. Yeah, okay, so I guess these are the tanks, and stuff gets, or that's a tank. Stuff gets floated inside there. I wasn't sure. You never know till you try it with this wacky mod pack. So I thought I'd wait before I start laying stuff out until we know that. But basically what this does is going to add an extra step between here and here. It seems like, and I've been looking at the tech tree, and I have to be honest, I get a little intimidated sometimes looking at this thing because it's ridiculous. But all the ones I look at, when I start to look up what happens in NEI, how that works, how it flows from machine to machine, it seems like they're adding one extra step for each technology. We started out basically with this crystallizer. And I don't think we were even using the crusher yet. We were crystallizing the ores and then smelting them directly into plates. Then we added the crusher. Then we added the this guy. And I think then we were smelting things. And then later we got the blast furnace and the induction furnace and the casting machines. Later we're going to have more machines out here. We're going to have a few more machines inserted in the middle here. We're going to turn our chunks with our flotation cell. Let's find where I put it. And look at the rest. Oops. There was a power pole there. Let's look at the recipe. Oh, yeah. So we have these chunks, which we're getting from crushed ore. And the one we need givelite, because once we process the crushed givelite in one of these things, and looks like I don't have any... Oh, that's a Mark II. Do I not have a Mark I? Is it on my bar? Oh, here's one. It's a Mark I, but this is just to look at recipes. I researched the... tool belt, by the way, so I've got extra slots down here. It's very nice. Givelites. Okay, so crushed givelite ore sorting gives us 1, 2, and 1. That doesn't seem right. Oh, this is what we're looking like. Givelite chunks sorting. Yeah, this is what we get after we get the chunks with our water flotation thingy we just researched, which is going to get us the zinc ore and the aluminium ore. The zinc ore we will need to make brass. And the aluminium, obviously, for aluminium. And then that will go, we'll sort out the different ores into the different blasting furnaces. I think we're going to need more room. I think it might be time to update this layout just a little bit. All right, so it's time for your favorite Factorio segment. Zisteau built a bunch of stuff. Let's plug it in and see if it works. I moved all of the filtration units over and all the crystallizers over as well, so we have room for the flotation cells. I researched the red belt so we could do some underground belt stuff to get past these machines. And since I was looking at the upgrades, and the filtration unit to the crystallizer is currently a 1-to-2 ratio, we're going to upgrade both at the same time, and it will continue to be that ratio. So I thought it would be nice to put them in a line like this. And then with that cleared up some space for the flotation units. And this is going to give us a different ore we will be sorting. Instead of crushed sapphirite, we're doing the Givelite chunks, which is going to give us a higher ratio of ores. It is also going to give us the zinc and the aluminium. We're going to start with brass, because that's simpler than aluminium. But first, we've got to turn the crystallizers on. So I want you guys to crystallize to Givelite ore. Okay. Just make sure everything's working. There's no reason it shouldn't be working, but who knows if I hook something up incorrectly. There's a lot of little connections here. Always make one mistake or two. Seems to be working, though. All of the inserters insert into underground belts, which is a good way to make sure you maximize compression. Okay. Now we're crushing it. We're also getting the crushed stone. And then this is coming down here. These guys are kind of slow. They also need purified water. And they're outputting, they have 50% chance to output these geodes, which are coming down here. I'm not going to do anything with the geodes for a while, so we're just going to collect them in a chest. And we're also outputting, I think this is called fluorite wastewater, that third liquid. I can just hover over this, I guess. Fluoric wastewater, yeah. And for now, we're going to use that later, but we're going to be producing it continually, so I'm just going to void it for now, because I don't have a use for it just yet. Okay, and then coming here. I never finished hooking this up. Okay, let's do something like this. And come right here and just give you a fast in. Oh, you don't have power right there. Well, I might rework the power situation. This is kind of way more power poles than we probably need. There we go. What did you output? Oh, did I select the wrong? What did I selected tin ore. That is wrong. We want zinc. There we go. Okay, so to make the brass, there are a few different recipes. We're going to be making it in these similar machines. In fact, we have to mix different ores because it is an alloy. So we need molten brass, and we can either do it with copper and zinc. Zinc is required for everything. Or we can add tin as filler, I guess, because it gives us more, so a smaller proportion of copper. Or we can add lead. I think we're going to add tin, because I was making tin right here anyway, and we're going to push this down just a little bit. So we're going to need to move this guy kind of like here. And this guy, you know, we might push all of these down a little bit, because we need more iron and copper than anything else still at this point for the research. I'm not researching anything. Let's turn on, it doesn't really matter, just as long as we're getting access to new stuff. As soon as we can make brass, aluminium, yeah, we can upgrade these things to Mark 3s. The Flotation Cell Mark II, we will need electronic circuit board. Okay, we'll do that. I think here we're going to do stereotyte, because we're going to need copper for the brass. We're going to move this guy down and have another one making brass here. So tin is going to move down. We're going to have copper here being combined with the tin, extra tin, into the brass here. I don't think brass is needed for the upgrades. Did I get access? No, we don't have access to the blue science yet. I did find it, though. It's in the electronics. Sometimes hard to find things in the menu. If I scroll all the way down, or I could just search bar. I guess maybe that's easier. Yeah, it's this one. Advanced Electronics gets us the Unilived Atomic Manipulator, which needs the femto laser array an atomic sensors array. So we're going to need, let's see, we'll need that glass finally. We will need aluminium for this research. We'll need gold plates. Okay, naphtha, methane. Okay, we're a little ways away from making this stuff. It's a little bit more than just aluminium. Silicon wafer, resin, ferric chloride solution. Okay, never mind. Let's not worry about that just now. Let's work on continuing our upgrades. So, let's see how many of those sorter Mark IIs do I have. Let's get rid of this for now. I have a feeling we're going to be moving everything down and upgrading all of these to Mark IIs. Well, the ones that are going slower don't really need the Mark IIs, to be honest, because they won't be running at full capacity. I think I've got 12 of these and 24 of those. I could upgrade even a little bit more. Okay, were you working? What happened? You are not doing anything. Oh, okay, there's that research done. Let's find out what's going wrong, and then I will work on the layout a bit. You are waiting on crushed Givelite. Did we run? Okay, mineral sludge. We're not making mineral sludge. Let's go see what happened. We've got plenty of coal for the filter frame. The filter frames aren't coming back. They're not being used. Oh. Our sulfuric wastewater filled... Oh, did I not connect up a pipe after... Yeah, I didn't reconnect up a pipe. That's what happened. Okay. Oh, you know what? I never moved it to begin with. It was originally over here. And I moved everything over. That's one thing I forgot to hook up. All right, problem solved. Okay, well, a little bit of time has passed since that last clip, and I've been fiddling with configurations here and trying to sort things out. It's gotten a little bit more complicated. As you might be able to see, the brass recipe we are using is simpler than the one I said we were going to use. We're using zinc and copper because I was looking at it wrong. If we pull up the brass recipes, one of them, it just requires 3 science packs to use. So this is one we're using, the simpler one. The one I wanted to use was this one with the tin filler, but that takes advanced brass smelting too, which takes 3 science packs. It's going to be a little while, but I do have the stuff set up. Let's at least let it start going and give these guys power. I've got enough steel that we are trying to get rid of all of the small power poles as I rebuild things. I've started scooping them up and depositing them in chests. They are no longer needed. So here's our first brass plates right there. Gonna move all these machines down. Gonna have to rebuild a lot of this. And I've decided that these worms here, these are gonna be the official, like, mascots. These are gonna be our pets we keep in a little jar. We might eventually surround them and make this like a fish tank looking thing. We're not gonna kill these guys. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small worms. And we are kind of running out of room. I need to expand more to the right. So that means we probably need to move everything down, which is not that big a deal because a lot of the stuff on this side is all in pipes anyway. And I thought about, here's the thing that's happening. We've got a lot of these recipes that are getting more complicated. At first it was kind of simple. This used to give us just iron and copper, and we would just split it into iron and copper. But now we're getting aluminium, which we're not using yet, and oh my god, that's loud. And then we're getting the zinc, which we need for the brass, which is coming over here. And that's outputting this gas. I forget which one that is. Sulfur dioxide gas, maybe. Looks like it's got 2 oxygen molecules. Yeah, sulfur dioxide. It also requires oxygen, and it requires molten lead. So I've got to set up a blast furnace to make lead, which is we're getting here. We're getting additional iron and copper and silver, which we're also not using yet. And I considered before setting this all up, I thought, okay, what if we have all these things producing all these ores, and we send everything to one of these? We just put everything in here, and then we output what we want with filter inserters. I might do that. I decided not to, because if we do it like that, then what's going to happen is we're going to have this chest keep filling up with stuff we're not really using much of. Currently, the way I used to have it, lead would just turn off when we didn't need any more lead, and tin would turn off when we didn't need any more tin. That's more efficient for our power, but really, at this point, maybe the power is not a big deal, and we just want things running smoothly, and we want more efficient use of our ore sorting. So we might end up doing that once we move things. We're going to be getting more steps anyway to this process, so it's going to take up even more room. It's going to become more and more a problem. Yeah, so we're going to have lead coming out of there to make molten lead to come out of here. And then we have these ingots, which right now are not going anywhere. We need to bring them down to our lead blast furnace and also put those in a buffer chest so they're not holding up our zinc production. So we're actually going to swap our tin and lead. Lead's going to go here. This guy was making tin. So in fact, we'll just leave this like this. I'm going to add, I think, 4 more of these. I think we're going to go to an even 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we got 12. We're going to go to 16. So right now we've got 10 running this ore. Oh, I don't even know if I went over this. We are running crotinium ore for our second ore chunk process. And that's the ore that is giving us, if we right-click it, it's giving us extra copper and iron in the opposite proportion of the other one, of the Givelite. We need a lot of iron and copper. It's also giving us the lead. We need the extra lead for the zinc processing. Although maybe we don't need the extra lead for that. Maybe we just get rid of this altogether. Maybe. Anyway, it's getting a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to spend some more time fixing stuff. But we officially have brass on the belts. And next time we will go after, we'll start working on aluminum and eventually the plastics and the electronic stuff. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Bye-bye.